The day propaganda stopped selling in Nigeria, that's a day will be regarded as a day when water dry up in an ocean.
Arrest coup plotters as una dey fight against military coup, as you dey punish people wey dey attempt military coup, when una go arrest the people wey come together to rig election in 2023? Or una no know say election riggers are also coup plotters?
This was the very same pattern that the 1966 coup was tagged an Igbo coup, whereas the Yaribas and the Hausa Fulani soldiers all participated in the coup.
I was supposed to be arrested, and if I refuse, I was supposed to be shot. But that's the job. And anybody who goes into coup, zeros his mind, because you succeed, good. You don't succeed, whatever consequences come, you're ready for it.
So federal government, President Tinubu, Nigerian military don't release the names and list of military officers allegedly involved in an attempted coup to overthrow the Tinubu government.
However, one thing stood out clearly. None of the people linked to the alleged coup plot were Igbo. Because of that, the story did not receive much attention. It did not trend. It did not dominate headlines. The so-called national media barely pushed it. The matter was treated as something minor and quickly buried. Fast forward to yesterday, Stanley Amadim, a well-known Igbo Nollywood actor, was suddenly named as a so-called propagandist linked to that same coup plot. Almost immediately, the story exploded everywhere. Social media went wild. Television station picked it up. Newspaper rushed to publish it. The Lagos Ibadan media space amplified it non-stop.
The first military coup in Nigeria happened on the 15th January 1966, and a coup that was tagged an Igbo coup, mainly because of perception, not because it was officially an ethnic coup or ethnic plot against particular region. Now, in today's broadcast, you will be hearing what actually happened, what transpired in 1966. Then we juxtapose it to what happened October 2025, where there is a claim right now that there was a coup against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Igbo man involvement in this coup. Before now, we all heard it October that there is a coup plot against our president. And at a point, people felt that the government were just trying to play some politics and propagandas to, divert our attention on the main things that are on ground, talking about insecurity, economic downturn, and all that, because they did not really take it as if this was a very heavy issue in a heavy national issue. Now, it got to a point that people disbelieved that it did not happen. If I thought it happened, they would have succeeded. If I thought they did not succeed, there would have been, kind of activities that would show that, yes, these people were trying to, do one or two. Just the way it happened in Mali, the way it happened in Burkina Faso, and even the Republic of Recent or Madagascar. Anyway, even at a point, the military denied that such change did not actually happen. I think they were trying to investigate it properly and all that, but they have come out publicly and confirmed that there was actually a coup plot against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. People like Femi Falana, they are beginning to question the military right now. Why are they telling us two things that we don't even know they want to believe? Because at a point you said there was no coup, and now you are coming out to say there is coup and all that. But that's not what we are talking about today. We all know that in 1966, of that January 15th, the people that led this coup, it was centered, that ethnic concentration made many people, especially in the north, believe that it was an Igbo-driven coup, where we have Major Chukwuma Kaduna Uzogu, we have Major Emmanuel Ifeanyi Juna, and Kafte Gbule and Chris Onuforo, where we have this guy, and the plot was quite, massive. And what we are actually concentrating on is that the resurface of this coup of 18 all of a sudden. And even when the names of these guys were released, about 99.5% of the name that carry out this coup against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in October 2023 were all Hausas. 95% was Hausas and all that. And the issue was like being dragged and all that. But all of a sudden, boom, we heard a name. The man that we normally watch on the screen that give us happiness, that give people happiness, give people joy because of the roles he played on the screen in cinematic world. All of a sudden, he has been thrown into jail right now, saying that he was involved in the coup. I will play a video for you.
This was the very same pattern that the 1966 coup was tagged an Igbo coup, whereas the Yaribas and the Hausa Fulani soldiers all participated in the coup. In October last year, reports quietly emerged that some soldiers from northern Nigeria had planned a coup but failed. According to the information available at the time, those involved were arrested and taken into custody. However, one thing stood out clearly. None of the people linked to the alleged coup plot were Igbo. Because of that, the story did not receive much attention. It did not trend. It did not dominate headlines. The so-called national media barely pushed it. The matter was treated as something minor and quickly buried. Fast forward to yesterday, Stanley Amadim, a well-known Igbo Nollywood actor, was suddenly named as a so-called propagandist linked to that same coup plot. Almost immediately, the story exploded everywhere. Social media went wild. Television station picked it up. Newspaper rushed to publish it. The Lagos Ibadan media space amplified it non-stop. Those who were openly hostile to the Igbo people were excited. Some were even celebrating. At last, they felt they had achieved what they had been searching for, which is a way to force an Igbo identity into the coup narrative. For months, there had been no real noise about the alleged coup. But the moment an Igbo name was introduced, the story suddenly became urgent, sensational, and worthy of national outreach. That alone raises serious questions. One must ask plainly, where in the world do professional military officers involve ordinary civilians, let alone actors, in planning a military coup? Coups are internal military affairs. They are planned, executed, and investigated within the armed forces. Dragging a civilian into such a matter looks more like a media strategy than a genuine security process. This was the very same pattern that the 1966 coup was tagged an Igbo coup, whereas the Yaribas and the Hausa Fulani soldiers all participated in the coup. Time and again, the Nigerian system finds ways to link Igbo names to national problems, even when the original facts do not support it. It is as if no major issue is complete until an Igbo face is attached to it. This is the injustice Ndi Igbo have lived with for decades in this contraption called Nigeria. The truth is painful but clear. The Nigerian entity, as it currently operates, has become a powerful weapon designed to constantly weaken, accuse, and isolate the Igbo people. When others are involved, the system stays quiet. When an Igbo name appears, the noise begins. This is not justice. This is not fairness. This is not unity. Still, despite the bias, Ndi Igbo have learned resilience. We have survived worse. We will continue to stand firm, speak out, and raise our voices against false narrative and targeted oppression. We will not allow lies and propaganda to define us. No matter how powerful the system appears, truth has a way of standing tall in the end, and we will continue to raise a standard. Exactly. Don't forget to register for our Igbo class. If you don't know how to speak Igbo or your kids don't know how to speak Igbo, rush now and register. And our content creation class is still on. Don't forget to DM me. I'm just a DM away. Bye.
So federal government, President Tinubu, Nigerian military don't release the names and list of military officers allegedly involved in an attempted coup to overthrow the Tinubu government, which is good, we thank God, because any military coup against a democratic system is condemned. But my country people, we need to ask our government some few questions. Make we know they whine ourselves. Let us stop deceiving ourselves. Our dear master strategist, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Mr. President, sir, are you a civilian president? Are you a civilian president in a democratic system of government? Do you, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, believe in democracy and government by the rule of law? And under this your regime as head of state, are you operating within the rule of law? Tell yourself the truth if you have the capacity to do so. Because as soon as they arrest coup plotters, as soon as they fight against military coup, as you they punish people where they attempt military coup, when una go arrest the people where come together to rig election in 2023, or when I not know say election riggers are also coup plotters, you do not know that election rigging is a civilian coup against democracy, aided and abetted sometimes by law enforcement and even military. Or you are not aware, Nigerian APC federal affliction government. Or when I know you only have problem with military dictatorships, you are okay with civilian dictatorships. Nigerian government ori buruku lenshi, oshilenshi. Any attempt when I know say people where they work to subvert the will of the people, to steal the mandate of the people, to ensure say the vote of the people no count, you do not know that you are also carrying out a coup against democracy in the country. So as una they fight and punish people where they attempt military coup, una go still they strategize, they come together to see how to rig election for 2027. Ori buruku lenshi Nigerian government. Oshilense, ori buruku gidi lense. Nigerian government, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Anybody where they work to see say the will of the people no prevail, whether you are National Assembly where they refuse to pass electoral bill, or you they pass bill where go create loopholes for you to rig election, for you to go to a corrupt judiciary, you are carrying out a coup against democracy in the country. And the same way people will carry out military coup, they're supposed to punish them, you too should be punished with the full extent of the law. So the person will handle the election, the general overseer of election rigging for 2023, after Yakubu Mahmoud collected more than 300 billion, said there will be electronic transmission of result. On the day of election, he said there was a glitch. Few weeks after retirement from INEC, you, Tinubu, you nominate him and appointed him an ambassador. What was the basis of making Yakubu Mahmoud an ambassador? So we can brazenly reward corruption and criminality in Nigeria, but we fight military dictatorship. Ori buruku lenshe, you are deceiving yourself, Nigerian government. Nigerian government, if you want to know, say, this country is truly a country of particular concern, that is when you will see civilian leaders where they wear khaki. You are worse than military dictatorships. If truly you are a government who respects the rule of law, if you are a civilian president in a democracy, former Kaduna state government alleged that the federal government, President Tinubu, they withdraw 100 billion every month from federation accounts for the past 15 months without appropriation from the National Assembly. In a democratic society, presidency or the executive arm of government withdrawing money from federation account without appropriation from National Assembly, that action and military dictatorship, what is the difference? Which one better pass? But you are fighting military dictatorship. NNPC allegedly missing more than 210 trillion. Yet, President Tinubu, you write off some of the debt of NNPC without consideration from the National Assembly. That action and military dictatorship, what is the difference? That is why in African countries, because of how useless and corrupt the leaders are, when people begin to hear of military coup, you go see citizens of those countries will come out and begin to rejoice. Because the government that is in power have shown that they are incapable of protecting and helping the welfare of the people. If you want to sample people's opinion to know where people, citizens' hearts they go to the street and ask people, interview between the government you have and the military dictatorship, which will you prefer? Is your life better under this so-called civilian dictatorship that you have? That is why the country is the way it is. So we go to fight military dictatorship in the same vein we are planning to rig election in the coming elections. You enter National Assembly, you convert it to APC town hall, they sing on your mandate, they shall collapse. You go to judiciary, they play on your mandate, you shall collapse. Mandate where they stand on mandate, they fall for Turkey. You are in attempt to convert the entire country to a one-party state, a direct affront on democracy and the rule of law. Yet we condemn military dictatorship. Both people where they carry out military coup and those of them where they do civilian coup and election riggers, you ought to be punished. So when they go punish those set of people, Nigerians shine on an eye, because as they fight against military coup for country, so the real civilian coup plotters, they coup for government. If you do nothing, if you refuse to to come out to vote again. The most dangerous one is the civilian coup election rigging where they carry out every year. As military go stand side to do their job, let Nigerians ensure you come out in millions to vote and protect your vote. Do not allow civilian where we are kaki to the rig election. They steal the mandate of the people. They announce winners for night. Then you come out to tell us that you are fighting military coup. Anything that is punishable should be punished. Anything that is an offense should be an offense. This Ori Buruku must not be sustained. President Tinubu, are you a civilian president in a democratic system? The way you hate military coup, do you also hate election rigging like that? Or you only hate military coup, but you can afford to prepare and also plan for election rigging? Ori Buruku Lenshe Nigerian government. My name is Peter for Nigeria.
You were also instrumental in helping save his life and some of those who would have been killed in that planned coup.
As always, I was also a target, I am sure you know.
You were supposed to be
yes,
locked up.
Now, I was supposed to be arrested, and if I refused, I was supposed to be shot. But that's the job. And anybody who goes into coup, I mean, zeros is mine, because you know you succeed, good. You don't succeed, whatever consequences come, you're ready for it. But then again, I think these guys were just a bunch of very unserious individuals that really don't know. If you look at the caliber of the individuals, if you look at, I don't know what got into their heads to think that they could take on the armed forces like that. What I even said was, even Nigerians will have fought them. Even without the armed forces, Nigerians will have stood against them. Remember, Nigerians have fought against the military rule for quite some time. And that's where Mr. President has always been one of them. So now for them to think they could just wake up one morning and do that in Nigeria, I think something went wrong in their, they need to reset their brains.
And you have said that they knew the consequences.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
Are you able to capture all of those who were said to have been involved?
So far, most of them have been caught. If there's anyone, maybe one or two, but most of the you know, and it just started from the colonel himself, who feels disgruntled because he was not promoted. He didn't meet the marks to be promoted. You know, the armed forces is really very strict about its promotions system. So he didn't make it. And so what he decided to do was to probably go around, look at other people that had one issue or the other, not promoted or felt that they were not posted rightly and all these things, and they tried to bring them in. And my pain is all those young officers that didn't understand what was going on, that he had put in this mess, and now they have to face the consequences.
But a lot of money was committed to that coup.
Yeah,
plot.
of course, yeah. But again, that was money towards him particularly, and so it was everything around him as an individual. It's just a colonel. I can't imagine a colonel even ever thinking of doing such a thing.
Well, I mean, in the military days, there were young, people of that age.
That was in the past. That was Nigeria of yesteryears. Now,
so it's difficult.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Why was it difficult for the military to detect that coup plot early enough?
No, but you see, one thing about it is there are speculations. But you don't work on speculations, you work on facts. If there's a speculation you hear that somebody is trying to do something and you work in, what facts do you have? Because you are going to go to the courts. If you can't present anything to the courts, then they throw it away and then you look stupid. So things were being monitored until when we were sure that these are things, and then it's moved in, and these facts are very, very clear. And what we try to avoid is we don't want any innocent person, you know, to be indicted for whatever reason. So it was painstaking. Since I was there, I was the one who inaugurated the board. I made sure the board started. We send them to DIA to do thorough investigation. And together with all the other, the NIA, the DIA, DSS, and every other person. So it's a holistic investigation that we carried out because we didn't want any innocent person to be indicted.
From what we were gathering, information coming to light seems to be that there's been this attempt and this internal disgruntlement, if there is anything like that, since about the 29th of May 2023.
Yeah, that's why I try for people to understand that it wasn't done because they think the government wasn't doing well. These things were planned even right before the president took office. So it had been a plan they had ahead of it, since they knew he was the one who won the elections. And for whatever reason, they've been hatching such things behind. And it's quite unfortunate.
So it would have been a bloody coup. And that, based on the plan.
Based on the plan.
To remove everyone in the line of succession.
But the ability to execute it, it's one thing that I know that probably they thought they were in some other country, not Nigeria.
So it's difficult to get that done in today's Nigeria.
Yes. But if you remember, during those days when they had coups, you have to have most of the big ones. You have to have GOCs or service chiefs with you, because those are the guys that control and monitor what's being done. You don't have any of such. They are just very low-ranking individuals that have no access some of these things. So for them to have even thought about it, I think something really, really went wrong in their heads.
But has the military been able to detect what could have been some loopholes within its ranks based on it? Because if the fact coming out or some of what we're hearing is that they infiltrated the Aso Rock Villa to that extent, and they had some insiders working with them, and they have even paid some of them.
So you see, the world has the good, the bad, and the ugly everywhere. In every aspect, you find those things. So nobody, no situation, no community, nobody, nowhere you find everything 100%. There will always be people like that. There will always be people that will never be satisfied, no matter what you do. So it's for us to now keep monitoring, making sure that our troops are doing what they're supposed to do. Every officer, every soldier knows his responsibility and carries it as... I mean, the country is doing so much for us. So for anybody to want to truncate democracy in this dispensation, I think there's something really wrong with them.
So you've plugged the loopholes now?
No, very well, very well. Yeah.
It's almost impossible to carry out a coup in this country as
almost
it is
impossible,
right now.
yes.
Within the military?
Within the military. The military is one unit. That's one thing I can tell you. The military is one unit. And what touches one touches every other person. So we always are looking out for this kind of people that are always disgruntled, trying to take advantage of the situation for themselves.